Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being there today. We are thrilled to be presenting such special project to the South by Southwest audience. We'll talk about a project that celebrates these outstanding monuments, the Basilica di San Pietro in Vaticano. A project that was made available by a fruitful collaboration between Microsoft and the Vatican. My name is Andrea. I'm Iconem's Chief of Staff, and I was the technical project manager on this project.
And my name is Yves Ubelmann. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Iconem. So I just want to say a word first about the company. I founded Iconem when I was working in the Middle East. Over the last decades, with the increasing number of conflict, cultural heritage was often victim of destruction. As a cultural symbol, a testimony of a past, heritage sites are often targeted to erase memories of communities and rewrite a fake history. I was a direct witness of this when I was working in Syria during the war, seeing the destruction of many sites like Palmyra, you can see here, the Temple of Bel. Since that time, I have dedicated myself to build tools and technologies to preserve threatened memories. So we rapidly discover that other threats are impacting sites, like climate change here in Libya, or urbanism. So with my team, using 3D and digitizing and AI, we went to many countries to record the most significant testimony of the past to be able to preserve it for future generations. So for 13 years, we have built an extended library of more than 300 digital sites and in over 40 countries in the world. So these digital assets offer new business opportunity for the company. Thanks to the accuracy of these models, it's become possible to create immersive exhibition to bring landscape to museums. Many of those remote places are not accessible for the people. So we propose the visitor an immersion into cultures and places that they cannot experience in the real world. It is our expertise in both fields, the field of AI and 3D digitizing, and the field of artistic experiences and immersion that brought Microsoft to ask us to join a very special project they had with the Vatican.
Et du coup, là, une fois qu'elle est là, elle balaye la géométrie, elle a dans son
Quando abbiamo un'ispirazione è come se si accendesse una luce. Questo progetto accenderà tante luci nel mondo.
This is an opportunity to use the power of artificial intelligence to see this basilica in a way that perhaps no generation has seen it before. It's a digital twin of one of the world's most important and grandest buildings.
La Basilica di San Pietro è interpretata come il centro della cristianità.
Luogo che custodisce la tomba di Pietro, sulla cui fede è stata edificata.
La tecnologia diventa un ponte non solo tra il passato, presente e futuro, ma diventa un ponte anche tra persone.
It's a new way to have a better understanding of the history of a place. In total, it's 400,000 pictures that we can stitch together. We really want, through this model, to reveal what is unseen.
It just starts to uncover the layers, not only the architecture and the history, but its mysteries.
Amanti Michelangelo, Bernini, forse dalla sua adesso ci guardano e un po' si divertono.
Noi riusciamo a portare questo patrimonio attraverso il tempo e verso il futuro che diventa un tesoro per tutti. Anzitutto nei 2 spazi immersivi che la gente potrà venire in Basilica e vedere. Poi ci sarà un sito in cui attraverso il 3D la gente potrà vedere gli angoli della Basilica.
With AI for Good, there is a lot you can extract, from these images.
We have built this AI preservation tool that can look across the digital twin and find structural problems, missing tiles. This model will last forever.
Spero tanto che questo progetto riesca proprio a fare questo link, di rendere meglio accessibile il patrimonio.
Future generations will find this as something that is part of their cultural heritage, as we created for our own. To use AI in this way is a way to bring out the best of humanity.
This was a quick peek into 2 years of work and the result of an idea that had been in the making for over a decade. Even in such short clip, we can get the spirit behind this project, a spirit of using technology as a way to enhance how we experience places. On one hand, we had the Vatican that was eager to bring one of the holiest sites on earth closer to the people and make it available everywhere. And on the other hand, we had Microsoft, convinced that technology could be used to make meaningful impact. Now, let's rewind a few months before that video was released, so we can shed a bit of light on the making of the most ambitious scan to date. At Iconem, we're using photogrammetry to create digital replicas of monuments, which means we have to take thousands of images from various angles at all kinds of distances. And here, it's July 2023. We are a team of 5 people in Roma for the month, with one goal: to capture every inch of this incredible monument. We spent weeks standing for hours piloting drones and operating lasers, running up and down with our cameras. We explored every corner and we got truly acquainted with the place. Even more so because the very people in charge of the monument were with us every step of the way. They opened doors to us, literally. They guided us through the place. And most importantly, they pointed out the details that are worth noticing. There are so many details that matter that we're beyond lucky to be working under the guidance of the people who know this place better than anyone else and who've dedicated their life to preserving it. Then we were back in Paris with terabytes of data we had to transform into the most complete and detailed replica of the Basilica di San Pietro. We had to reconstruct the whole basilica, every part of it, from the ground up in its every layer. We had to recover the complex architecture with a huge cupola with lots of corridors, lots of rooms, even empty voids between the walls. And beyond the structure, we also had to render the most remote and intricate details. We rendered them at the highest resolution possible, mostly millimetric, so anyone could experience the richness of the basilica's textures and patterns and materials that spread across thousands of mosaics and marbles and sculptures. It took us a few months, but we got there. We got to the point where we had the entire basilica in 3D. And at the same time we were working on processing this data into a 3D model, we were also working on ways to capture and share the feelings such place can inspire. We wanted people to be able to grasp the richness and the complexity that make it a marvel of engineering. We spent so much time inside the place and we worked so closely on it that we felt inspired into bringing people closer to that intimate knowledge, the kind of knowledge you have when you've explored every layers and uncovered every details of a place. The question was, how do we engage people with such place, especially when this place is experienced through digital tools? Using a range of digital twins and 3D reconstruction techniques, we were aiming at representing the Basilica in detail while striking a balance between contemplation and education. We created interactive app that combines 3D assets with 2D assets, a simpler language made of images and text. Using touchscreens that were gifted by Microsoft to the Vatican and that are available on sites, the visitors can navigate either guided or freely through various themes like the history of the Basilica, like its architecture, the main symbols and its artworks. Today, though, it's still a big challenge, a huge challenge, to bring such massive photorealistic 3D model into everyone's hands. Whether it be on their phone or computer, even on these touchscreens, it's very difficult. But we're getting there, step by step. And this project at that moment in time felt like a huge leap forward. At Iconem, our work stands on years of research and development that gave us a big head start because we were able to leverage the latest breakthrough in the 3D ecosystem to bring this project to life. We leaned on years of improvement of computer vision algorithms, and these allowed us to process quickly and more efficiently than ever huge amounts of raw data into something people could actually use. 3D models that load fast, look great, and work on any devices. Then, once the model is processed, once the model exists, the next challenge is just as important. How do we share this model with the world? How do we reconcile precision and quality with lightweight 3D model without sacrificing user experience? Well, then we implemented new 3D formats and techniques that were just becoming mature enough to be used at such scales. Techniques like tiling, which is a smart way of breaking down huge 3D models into smaller, more manageable pieces, and formats like Gaussian splats, which capture how light plays on surfaces with stunning realism. Implementing those techniques and formats was key to show the Basilica in detail without slowing down the navigation. We added guided navigation, user controls, text, annotations, images to the mix, so we would have a tool that would allow us to create easily new journeys inside the Basilica. Because culture and language have evolved over the last 2 millennia, so many artifacts throughout the Basilica are hard to understand today to visitors. And here, technology can help bridge the gap by translating these symbols and providing context for modern audiences. Rather than leaving the visitors alone, we show them directly. We help them decipher the place, and thus we create a more inclusive experience, both for believers and non-believers. This 3D model and these tools to play with it and to reveal it were of great help to expand what we could tell of the monuments and how we could tell it. Because it gave us the ability to see what's normally hidden, to see through walls. It lets us reveal what you normally can't see, and what's hidden not only behind surfaces, but also what's hidden because in places too remote or too intricate for the visitor to notice with the naked eye. Like a magnifier, we bring those details to light. And we built this app so the visitor becomes the explorer. You can choose the pace. You can follow your curiosity. You can step into areas that are never open to the public. You can explore guided or alone. We built it so the visitors could choose how they interact with the space and how they interact with the knowledge attached to the place. The aim here is to leverage what technologies offer to propose new ways, new means of experiencing a place, and to foster a deeper, more intimate knowledge of this place.
So, working hand in hand with Microsoft and the Vatican, we wanted to take things a step further. How to bring the digital experience into the Basilica itself, combining our digital art with this Baroque masterpiece of architecture. You know, Baroque artists invented the art of illusion. Thanks to a good knowledge of geometry and perspective, they designed a perspective on fresco able to cross a vault, like here in Sant'Ignazio in Rome. So we got inspired by this technique to create our 3D video and make it more immersive. On a massive curved screen, we calculated the perfect anamorphosis to make the screen disappear. So this is the main film. We can have, I think, the music too, the sound. This is the main film designed in a way to make people feel like they are inside places that are not accessible. Here, it's the Roman necropolis under the Basilica, excavated in the 1950s, and where the tomb of St. Peter was discovered. So you can imagine there is no way to visit these tombs because the paintings, the artifacts, they are so fragile. Can show the layering of this sedimentation that is underneath the Baroque basilica. This is the level where the tombs of the Pope are exposed. And this is the main holy space. This is nearly impossible to see this space empty when you visit the basilica. On the end of the basilica, this is the throne of St. Peter. Nobody can get this close to these details, designed by Bernini. And here we are following the vertical line that link the tomb of St. Peter with the upper part of the dome. So it's not only the monument itself we recreate in 3D, but also all the surrounding, the city of Rome. So now it's really possible to recreate a full city and give the sense of a context to the monument. So I hope this gave you an idea of how we can provide a new connection to the past. And if you want to know more about this project, we have a colleague on the room who can give you some paper about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.